Historically, Chinese navigators relied on finding the North Star in the night sky using the Big Dipper, a star constellation that points to the North Star. Today, China's satellite navigation system is honorably named after the Big Dipper, or Beidou. In 2020, China achieved a key milestone by making Beidou, the Chinese equivalent of GPS basically, available for global use. 20 years after it was first released for use only in China and the Asia Pacific regions. Now, how it works is there's around 30 Chinese satellites constantly orbiting the Earth, and they work together to map the world's surface. God, that animation! To map the world's surface and relay the information back down to the ground using for use by whatever ships at sea, farmers planting their crops or harvesting using equipment that links back to satellites, commercial planes, Cheng Wu and his mates in Shanghai using the Chinese version of Google Maps, whatever. And of course, if it comes to it, military use, guidance system for drones and missiles, warships and the like. But hang on, here's the real mystery. American GPS, what was wrong with that? Why did China have to build their own? Well, let's go back to when I was a young lad, many years ago, because I'm an old timer now. I'm 30. When I was younger, I thought of GPS as this universal service that all countries just have somehow, magically, you could say, right? Or it's controlled by the world as a whole, right? GPS. We've sent satellites into space, all of us can now navigate better. Of course, geopolitics means things are not so simple. Baby muffles. In 1996, the US restricted use of their GPS, when there were tensions in relation to Taiwan. China fired a few missiles. One hit within range of the Taiwan island, hit exactly where China wanted, but then later missiles veered off course. China realized the US was using selective availability, or SA, disrupting the GPS signals in the area to mess with Chinese missiles and the navigation systems they are using. Now, previously, GPS was thought to be universal, and China got a harsh wake-up call. There were some other incidents as well, with the ship being stranded because GPS was switched off, and then America sort of sent people to board the ship because they thought something booky was being hidden in the hold or whatever. Turns out nothing. But the point was, GPS systems can just be switched off whenever the US wants. It was called an unforgettable humiliation in China at the time, the Taiwan incident I mentioned, and the state began working on their own program. In the Gulf War against Iraq, the US did it again. They showed the world that GPS is free and available to all, until it isn't. Until America decides it's not in its best interest for their GPS to be free and available for all. Since then, America has made it clear, we don't plan on jamming or region locking GPS use ever again. Pinky swear, I promise, right? But the damage was done. The trust was gone. Today, China has Beidou, Russia has GLONASS, and Europe has Galileo, which is also GPS, Galileo positioning system, when it's truncated. So not the clearest, but you get a point. The American Authority on GPS Technology recently declared something. They said, quote, GPS technology is now significantly outmatched by the Chinese Beidou system. Understandable, as China has made huge leaps in technological advancement, and America's GPS system is old, right? It was the first, but is now old. Now here's the dramatic details. Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and now Iran join a list of more nations cooperating with China on the use of Chinese Beidou navigation instead of American GPS, even for military purposes like the three I just named. The idea being that Beidou is more powerful and less likely to be shut off if you get into a disagreement or an altercation with the US. With American action becoming more and more erratic as by the assessment of many, as nations shift from unipolarity into a multipolar, more fluid world order, nations are looking for stability elsewhere, and the leader of the global south seems to be here to serve. Russia and China also made GLONASS and Beidou interoperable, meaning they can actually work together. So from the map apps on your phone to missile targeting and guiding, definitely for not for public use, but for, let's say, the Iranian state and everything in between, China has very clearly stepped onto the world stage of navigation. They have a system independent of the US ready should there come a time when there is a very real clash of the great powers of our age. In such a clash, China and its allies won't have to worry about the Yanks yanking the plug out of their navigation systems, leaving them in the dark when things get really hairy. The stars for which Beidou and Galileo are named are for all of humanity to look up at, and America can no longer turn off those stars for anyone else. For the unbiased news and analysis without the Western spin, I'm Mahfouz, and I'll see you on the next one. And TikTok, on my profile, if you click it, the link tree has the link to my YouTube channel, where I'll be releasing content as well for those who are looking for a YouTube channel where I do stuff like this. So thank you for your support, and I'll see you on the next one, whatever platform that is.